And hello there, this is Arthur Hasher with Lionsgate Realty and SunCityHomes.com. Yes, SCAZHomes.com. How are you today? Well, I put together it's a four-part series, so this is the first part of uh, what do you do when you want to list your home for sale? And there's so much going on, people don't understand. So I really want to go through it as fast as I can. And let's just look. I'm going to go through this and bring my thing over here and go through the process with you so you'll understand what's going on. This is a four-part series. The first part is going to be, which we're going to do today, is the basic understanding and what you do. The second part, if you want to start like listing your home, what do you do? You know, uh, and the second part is the paperwork, which is really that's going to be a lot of work for a lot of people because you have to understand that what's going on. And the third part is after you get everything done, everything that is preparing your home uh, for sale. And the fourth thing is getting offers and what we saw COE, also known as an acronym for close of escrow. So then we're going to do that. And so the part one, which we're going to do today, is we're going to talk a little about uh, FSBO, for sale by owner, if why or why not. Investors, flippers, and cash buyers, brokerages, and real estate agents. Just give you some terminology. Why a realtor, code of ethics, and choosing your agent. And as I'll go through a little bit at the end, um, and I guess I'm one-sided because of course, I'm a realtor as well, and I'd love to have your business. But again, we're not for everybody, so you have to pick and choose who you really like and who you trust and who you think is going to work best for you. And I'll give you some pointers and some understandings of things that you should look at where you should go. Part two is the paperwork. Getting to know and understand the paperwork, reading all your documents. Please read the documents because if you don't, you're going to be surprised at the end. You're not going to be happy. Disclosures, all the disclosures you have, advisories and addendums. Ask questions all the time. Understanding the SPDS. Here's another acronym for Seller Property Disclosure Statement. Yes, SPDS, you're going to get this a little bit all under there and bingo. And then, of course, the listing agreement, going over it and understanding it. So, again, no surprises. And then part three, again, is marketing. Uh, what's the agent going to do to market your house? You know, again, there's so many different things you could do. What are they going to do? Do they do anything like this? I mean, because this is time consuming. This takes a lot of work. Uh, Price to sell. I always say, and I'm telling you, you want to price it to sell, especially in today's market. We're in January 2025. You want to price it to sell. Clean, immaculate, not just clean, immaculate, staged, and depersonalized. Getting rid of all your personal pictures and stuff. Professional pictures, I always say, I mean, there are some people that are really good with an iPhone. There are some really good agents out there with iPhones that can take good pictures. And then if you get professional pictures, they have another eye. They're looking at details. You could have a drone shot here and there. You pay a little extra for a drone shot. It's kind of fun to look at where the house is located within an area, so you can get a little bit more understanding of it. Uh, Time to show, when you're going to show it, and any common questions that come up about uh, anything about marketing and where it's going to go. And then the last but not least is offers and multiple offers. How are you going to handle that? All offers in writing, and then you want to sign off on it as well. You want to see all offers. Reviewing a purchase contract. You want to review the purchase contract. You definitely want to review the purchase contract, and I'm going to review that with you so you get an understanding of it. The BINSA, another acronym. Here we go. Buyer inspection, seller response. So the buyer is going to come in within the first 10 days after you accept the offer and everything like that, and they have all the stuff that they have to get done. They have to do their due diligence within a 10-day period, and usually want to get the inspector there really fast in case anything else comes up that they have to inspect as well. So it's not like, oh, I have 10 days to get the inspector in. No, you have 10 days to get the buyer has 10 days to get their due diligence done. So that's why You have to go into this stuff and understand it. You want to review all the paperwork and your close of escrow, and then we're going to get into um, title and blah blah blah, title insurance and all that stuff. And then you want to do. Sorry, I'm just hitting my rubbing my eye. Um, close of escrow, and you really want to get into your net. You always want to know what your net's going to be at the end. That's important. No, again, no surprises. We try to look no surprises. So here we go back. Here is part one. And we're going to talk about FSBOs. And I'll go down and talk about FSBOs. Again, before I go any further, if you have any questions or you like this little video that I'm doing, or you have suggestions on how to improve it, please give me a call, email me. I'd love to hear from you. We're going to talk about part one. This is it. We're going to talk about FSBOs, investors, brokerages, and real estate agents, and the different terminology, why a realtor, and the code of ethics, and choosing your agent. For sale by owner, should I? Well, as a realtor, of course, I was going to say no. But again, there are a lot of people out there that can do this. I mean, if you have a house that's vacant, if you live in the area, uh, and there's nothing going on in the house, and you just want to show it, you just want to sell it, and you just want to get rid of it, uh, you could try for sale by owner. A couple of things going to happen with for sale by owner. You're going to get once you put it on any one of the sites that are for sale by owner, you're going to get everybody calling you up and when you're going to come down and when you're going to do it. So a little inside information that I always give, is that uh, do an open house once a week. Don't go crazy and say, I'm at the house, the buyer's there. I'm at the house now. I want to see it. Then you got to stop what you're doing. You're cooking dinner. You're doing everything else, and you got to go show the house. It's really, it becomes really inconvenient, and it becomes a lot of stress. Uh, so what you do is just to say, hey, you know what, I'm having, or you put it on the thing. You put it on your sign that you put it right there. It's for sale by owner, open house, blah blah blah, this day. So this way, that if they want it, they can come by and see it. If they want to see it before, um, if they're really interested in the house and want the house, they'll come to the open house and see it. This way you control when you're there, and you don't have to be there alone. You don't have to show it by yourself. You can always show it with somebody else or a couple of people there. Uh, so again, you're watching everybody that's come in, and then usually when it's open, it's usually kind of crowded and busy. So you can figure out, people aren't going to do anything when it's crowded and busy. Whereas when you're one on one, again, you're going to start asking questions. Like if you just do one on one and you call them up and you run down there and they're interested, hey, who has the money? You don't even know if they're really interested or they're just really looking. So again, that's the open house, and that's the craziness that goes on. That's what I'm saying. The guy pulling his hair out of his head, because if you don't do it, if you're not prepared and don't know how to do it, it could be a disaster, and then you're going to wind up like hiring the first agent you find because you just want to get done. Then we're going to go into really fast investors. So you have investors, which also are flippers and cash buyers. Investors are people that usually buy and hold. What they do is a lot of companies out there a lot of big money companies out there are buying up residential properties and renting them out and buying and holding them. They get a good return on their investment. Then you have the flippers that are coming in and they're looking for really properties that need work. So they're going to figure out the dollar amount that what they could buy it for, how much work that they're really going to put into it, and then they got to take that and then they got to make a profit on that as well. So that's really hard. And those are also investors, flippers can be all called cash buyers, but cash buyers I put down there because I wanted to just put a note in my head and put a note in yours that cash buyers, there's two types. There's cash buyers that just have, they come out and they say, I want to buy for cash, and say, okay, let me see where the money's coming from. You want to see where the money's coming from. So they give you a statement or bank statement or something that says, oh, there's $400,000 in here and I'm going to borrow from it. You don't want somebody that's going to come out and say, hey, I'm a cash buyer and I'm taking it out of my, 401 or a retirement account or a Roth account or something like that, where it takes 30, 40 days just to get the money out. And I've seen that. I've dealt with somebody that was I dealt with somebody that was a cash buyer on one of my properties, and I mean, he felt bad, but it took him a couple of weeks. It just wasn't done in 10 days. It took about 3 weeks before he got the money out, and he thought he could get the money out faster, and he couldn't. And he was in real estate in California. So, so, so I'm telling you, it's you have to go into these little things. Also, there are cash buyers that go hard money lending, so they deal with hard money. They deal with hard money lenders, and again, that's a lender looking at the house and looking at it and saying, okay, is it right? Okay, before they do it. Hard money lenders can close really fast. They can close in, I would say, 10 days. That's like pretty average. And again, you could do all bunch of things. But again, when you do it with deal with venture, when you're dealing with investors, flippers, and cash buyers, it can be a discount, and it's going to be anywhere between I would say off of the appraised value between 50 and 70% of the appraised value. Hey, if the house is not in great shape and you just want to get rid of it and you don't want to hold on to it, there's an option. And again, you will get investors coming if you're doing the for sale by owner. You'll get investors coming in. We get as realtors. I'm telling you right now, on my phone, I can tell you right now, I get investor calls. I get 3 to 5 investor calls a day. Always, somebody's looking for a property. Somebody's looking for a fixer upper. Everything like that. I get investor calls every day, and I bet you there are agents all over the valley that I know that probably get agents all over Arizona or all over the country that get investor calls every day. So again, that's a big thing. Terminology is important to know the differences of what's going on. Okay, you have a brokerage, which is the main name that you're looking at. It could be mine is my not my brokerage. The brokerage that I work for is called Lionsgate Realty, and that's the name of the brokerage. The designated broker and the broker owner is who's responsible for Lionsgate Realty. So she's responsible for everything that goes on. She's responsible for the paperwork and everything like that. We're a small posh uh, brokerage. Now there are large brokerages. You have like Coldwell Banker out here. You have Home Smart. You have My Home Group. You have you have what is it called, the West USA. You have Realty One Group. I mean, you have so many out there that out there, and some of them have thousands of agents working all over the valley. Thousands and thousands of agents working all over the valley. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I just think it's more of you can get. I see you get lost from being in the business. Um, for selling, I would say I'm selling real estate from New York. I was selling from 2006. I was an appraiser before that. Uh, I came here in 2015. So, and I've been doing mostly. I did some selling, and I did mostly a lot of flipping. So again, uh, it's just you pick your market and how it looks and how it's really good. So again, you have to figure out what works for you as far as if you want a large brokerage or small brokerage. But designated broker is the one that's in charge of all the agents that are in that brokerage. So as far as being in charge of the paperwork, following up with all the paperwork and everything that's done according to the rules and regulations and the statutes set up by the Arizona Department of Real Estate that get done correctly and get done right. That's important. You have an associate broker, which has a broker's license, but what they're doing is they're just like a sales agent, but they're working under a broker and not their own brokerage. So they call it an associate broker. A sales agent and a realtor, or even an agent and a realtor, is one that are all associated with the National Association of Realtors, okay? But they can call themselves a realtor or a sales agent. It's either both. Okay. Then you have teams. Okay. Whereas you have one agent that's so busy and doing so much work he can't do it all himself. So now he starts forming teams, which he has buyer agents and seller agents, and then he has people working the office, and then he has probably another person that's not a licensed agent, just working doing some paperwork and doing some other stuff. So again, you have a team out there. So what happens when you have teams is that you're not just dealing with the agent you're not just dealing with the agent one on one. You could be dealing with a team. You could be dealing with somebody else does the paperwork. You have what they call a transaction coordinator. and you'll be talking to the transaction coordinator, and you won't be dealing as much with the sales agent that came in and sat down and did that. But again, hey, if it works, it works. Some agents are really busy and they're running from one to the other. And then plus, again, you have what they call NARMs, National Association of Realtor members, and they are just called from ADRE, which is the Arizona Department of Real Estate. They're called real estate agents. They're not associated with any um, local, state, or national association. They're independent. They work with a different MLS. They work with what's called a different MLS structure. And it works a little bit different, but it's okay. But they could actually get the MLS from what we have. They just have to pay a different fee and stuff like that. But they can still get it if they want it. What realtors follow is the realtors follow the code of ethics, the realtor code of ethics. And the realtor code of ethics is 8 pages and 17 articles. Just to give you an idea. So it's not something that was just put together. It was really put together it goes back to when the whole standard of real estate, and it's a big thing if you want to get into and talk about it, uh, it goes back to the early 1900s where there were scrupulous things going on and people were just, buying nothing. They didn't know what they were buying and they were getting screwed. They were getting scammed. Uh, and there were scams all the time, and there's scrupulous people all the time, so you really have to watch it. But again, if you're dealing with a realtor, that you have a basis of they have to follow these articles. There's the first Article 1 through Article 9, if I remember correctly, deal with duties to clients, and customers. So it's a code of ethics. It's called ethical. It's being ethical. It's being truthfully and honest and knowing what's right and not um, being dubious or anything like that. So again, I'm Arthur Hasher, associate broker. I'm going to go give you my paper, give my information at the end. Again, I work in Sun City. I know Sun City pretty well. I've been here since 2015. I know the properties, I know the homes. If you're interested in finding anything or listing and you want some information on that as well, there are the only thing I could say about like when you're looking for a realtor and you're living in the Sun City, wherever you're living, what area you're living in, pick a realtor that knows your area and knows your area well, because that's gonna really change it. So I mean, there's a bunch of us in Sun City. I'm telling you right now. I know there's a bunch of us in Sun City. Some of us work part time, but I mean, they're good part time. They're a good, part time retired because you're in Sun City, retired agents that do 5, 10, 3 deals a year. But they can be very good at what they do, and they keep up on the paperwork and they keep on everything. But again, they have a life that they're living a little bit retirement. So again, and then you have agents that are here in Sun City that live here that do a lot of deals a year. So again, it depends on what you want. Do you want somebody that's going to just give you, great agent, but they're just going to they only can give you a half hour? Or do you want somebody that's in the mid range that can give a couple of hours and talk to you and sit down and hold your hand a little bit and make you relax and understand what you have to do and what you have to go through? Again, that's for you to decide. This is Arthur Hasher, Associate Broker with Lionsgate Realty out here in Sun City. Give me a call or send me an email and I'll get back to you. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.